Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're watching this from. My name is Denise Belil, and I'm a serenity expert and positive intelligence specialist. I'm doing these lives every Monday at 12 Pacific time, and I'm happy if you're watching it live or if you're watching it on replay. Don't be shy to put some comment in the chat. We often revisit the chat and answer your question if necessary. Today, this show is called It's All Good. Look, it's here for a chat. And one of the simplest reason why it's called It's All Good is because of my favorite cup. It says It's All Good. And that's also one of my motto, a way of thinking, something I like to say a lot, because I feel that regardless of what happened in your life, you have to have an open mind, an open view of what your life is like. And whether something bad happened even 1 or 2 minutes or a second ago, you can't change it. So it's all good. And what about the future? You're worrying about something coming up in the future. You can't change that either. So it's all good. The most important is to live for the present and to be happy just the way life is right now, and do your best to keep bringing that happiness forward. Today, I have an amazing guest. Her name is Diana Lidstone, and she's the entrepreneur G.P.S. Wow, I look forward to share with you what that's all about. After 3 decades in business and working globally with coaches, consultants, and experts, Diane has gathered rock-solid wisdom and advice that has helped thousands of entrepreneurs and professionals accelerate growth and increase profit while freeing up more time for the things they love. That's awesome. Don't you want to have more time for the things you love as opposed to grinding on the things you don't like? As a creator of the G.P.S. Grow Meter and the Marketing Proficiency Effect, and as bestseller author of Shift into Rich, Navigate the 9 Roadblocks to Small Business Success, Diane's signature Ultimate Grow Engine transforms frazzled, overworked business owners into profitable, overjoyed CEOs. Diane and her husband love boating in the Thousand Island, Canada. She's often found walking her dog and drinking champagne, not at the same time. So I'm super excited to have Diane here tonight. Let me get her into our chat. Hello, Diana. Nice to meet you. I know I just call you Diane, but we know it's Diana. Nice to have you here today. And how's your day so far?
Thank you so much for having me. It's an amazing day. And as you say, it's all good.
Yes, I love that for sure. So do you have anything you'd like to add on what I've said? Like what's
No, I think it's great. I'm a teacher at heart. Those of you who are watching live, you'll see that, I've got a flip chart behind me. I love speaking to other people's audiences. And so I will look forward to having a conversation with you today.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. And as we said, don't be shy to type. We see the chat, so it might be a small delays, but we can see the chat. So if during the conversation you have a few questions for Diana, don't be shy, just type it up. And whether we'll answer right now when we see it, or as you watch the replay, also type your question and comments, and we'll revisit the talk as we move forward in the week, and we hope to be able to answer your question too. So let me ask you a question, Diane. If you were to give a business owner just one tip, I guess, not tips, towards their success, what would that tip be?
It would be the one word, and I've got it written on my flip chart here. It's about simplifying.
Oh.
I think that as entrepreneurs, and I'll address as women, we love to serve everybody. We want to help everybody.
Absolutely.
And so we sometimes make things a little more complicated than they should be. Mm-hmm. The other thing is that entrepreneurs tend to be a very creative bunch. We can create offers, and we can create, and we think, oh, well, I need to, help this person over here. Oh, maybe I need to be on this platform over there. And so there's a real tendency, and we're often motivated by what we see on other, um, social media platforms. And people say, well, this is the magic pill, and this is the magic button, and this is the easy button. But truthfully, the best way to move your business forward is to uncomplicate it, keep it simple, silly, or as I say, just simplify things.
Mm. And you have Angelo in the chat that says 2 word customer service.
Yep.
And I think customer service is very important too, because you need to treat the clients you have nicely and service them properly so that they are also want to come back and continue working with you and refer people to you for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Customer service can be huge. Some people have built, their brand on just outstanding customer service because it is so rare. So great.
Yeah, it is rare for sure. Yeah. Especially now, I found that ever since COVID, with minimizing staff and integrating like robots, press 1, press 2, press 5, press 6, that drives me insane. But anyway, that's another talk altogether. And but one thing I'm wondering, because I'm one of those, the question I'm going to ask you, like, marketing doesn't come naturally for most business owner, and I'm raising my hand into I'm one of those. So what is good marketing? How can people really develop their marketing and be good at it?
Well, I think the good question goes back to, you said, what is good marketing? And what is the role? What is the purpose of marketing? So how can you measure whether you have good marketing? Is it bringing you the leads and the customers that you want, whether it's the quantity or whether it's the quality? Because sometimes we can get quantity, but we don't have the right quality of leads or customers. So, that is the difference between, making marketing that, as I say, actually works for you. But your way to measure your marketing, is it bringing me the leads and the prospects that I actually want? If it's not, then maybe there's something that needs to change. And, marketing is really made up of 3 things. I call it, so there's basically your message. Those are the words, the actual words that you say to get it out there. Then there's the method of getting those words out there. And then there is who, or the market that you're actually speaking to. So if you are not getting the right leads, the quantity or the quality, then maybe it's one of those 3 things that just needs some tweaking in order for it to really work.
Yeah, I think I've experienced that in the past, where I would do some type of marketing where I would get lots of leads, but nothing pan out. It was the wrong message. And then the people that came were not my audience. They were not the people that they were not interested really in what I had to offer. And I was not necessarily interested into working with them. So I found that it makes a huge difference, like the message, the target, So sometimes it's not so much about quantity, but I love the fact that you said quality. Really the focus. And that's what they teach us in the school of marketing, like narrow your clientele base. So when you talk to Diana, well, she recognizes herself, say, yeah, she's talking to me. Denise talking to me directly. Like she's saying exactly what my problem is. And often people, I think, are afraid to narrow down, right?
Oh, right. And so you bring up such a good point. I've got 5 ways that I teach people how to simplify their business. And for those of you who are interested, I actually wrote a blog on my website November 1st that goes into the general gist of it. And then there's 5 other blogs, and we talk about the 5 different ways. So we go deeper. But, you know, you touched on this thing about narrowing your niche. And every time that I help my clients create what I call a micro niche, like itty bitty niche, that's when they truly find that their business explodes. And I don't mean sales. Because I talk about profits, not about sales. It's all about your profit.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So an example of this is a lawyer that I've worked with over the last couple of years. And as we know, very often lawyers in a small city might be perceived by their target audience or their target market as sort of the general lawyer. You know, they do everything but maybe going to court, or they have this very broad spectrum.
Yeah.
And this particular woman was very worried about narrowing her niche. But I'm going to exclude somebody. I'm going to exclude somebody. And eventually not eventually, but it took me a bit to find out what her actual passion was.
Mm-hmm.
When you work from your passion in your business, you have all this joy. People are attracted to you. It's a whole different energy. Well, come to find out, this woman had a side business about real estate investing. Okay. And I went, there it is. And so we worked to position her as the go-to expert for real estate investors.
Because it was something she already had deep at heart. Right?
Yeah, and she loves it. And, you know, here was this lawyer who had been in business for 10 years, was working herself to the bone, was not making a lot of money, and was starting to think that she was going to have to go and look for a job, a job, you know, working for someone.
Yeah, for sure.
Went, you know, that can't happen. That can't happen. Not under my watch.
Yeah, I know.
And and so again, she was really reluctant to position herself like that. But what ended up happening was that she was invited to speak at a real estate investors club, created all these amazing referral partners, strategic alliances, and her business has just like skyrocketed. Not only has the quantity of her leads increased, but she's now, instead of real estate closings that are like, you know, first-time home buyers, you got to hold their hand. She's doing these big things with real estate investors that challenge her up here, that are at a different price level. And she loves her business. And she's just so excited every day or every week when we get on the phone, and she goes, yeah, Diana, I don't hate to say this, but I'm making so much money now.
It makes a big difference for sure.
It's huge. It is huge. So really narrowing that niche down is the first step to simplifying your business.
Yes. And it's scary. It is scary, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
Because the feeling is that, yeah, but who's going to find me? Who's going to, like, that, you know, small percentage of, you know, woman, in my case, that would be such and such and such and such. Why would they go find me? Because nobody else talk your language, right? Like you really talk to them. As I was saying, Diana, this and that. And it's like, wow, she's really talking to me. And that's how it feels when you really narrow down and you're focusing, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is really easy. You know, when you think of it, go back to this lawyer again, for instance. You know, her concern was, you know, who's going to come to me? And I said, well, you know, how many real estate investors are in the province of Ontario?
A lot.
Yeah. She happens to have a business that is digital first. They do everything virtually. Ontario, the whole of Ontario is her is her market for real
Yeah.
estate
Yeah.
investors. And, she's really building a reputation as the go-to authority in that field.
Wonderful. That's awesome. Yeah, that's what you want, right? And then I think what happened in the long run is that she would make even more money by working even less, like having less clients, because you can have one client, especially if they're in her niche, like they don't buy one property.
No, it's multiple.
Constantly, buy one after the other. And if her advice is to the point and she's an expert in her field, she will never lose those clients and they will stay with her forever, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So talking about, growing a business, like what does a business owner needs to really grow their business?
Well, interesting that you say that, because GROW, I use that as an acronym.
Okay.
So
now I'm curious.
Yeah. So if you think of G stands for get known. You've got to get known as the undeniable authority in your field.
Mm-hmm.
And that includes, how are you going to, what is the one problem you're going to solve? How are you positioning? How are you packaging? How are you pricing? All of that is included. The R stands for what I call ramping up your profits. So when you look at your business, what metrics are you analyzing? What metrics are you tracking? For instance, it's not always about profit and loss, but maybe it's about growing your email list, as opposed to the number of followers that you have on Facebook. But what are key metrics in your business? Also, the other thing is reviewing on a regular basis what is working and what isn't working. So you review what's working, and I say, so you replicate what's working or you double down on it.
Of course.
And what's not working, you let it go.
Yeah.
So that also will help you simplify. So you've got the G is get known, ramp up your profits, and then O is what I call optimize your resources. And this is all about team and systems and SOPs and making sure that your website is optimized, your other assets are optimized. And when you take G plus R plus O, you get W, which is work less.
So
cool.
Yeah. I was thinking wealth.
Too, yeah. You work less and earn more.
Yes, which is pretty cool. And thinking about that, the GROW system, if we can call it this way, I know you probably have your own name for that. Is I think I saw in your note earlier, like the GROW meter or something.
Yeah.
So how do people what is the biggest mistake that people can avoid, or what do they make? Like what's the biggest thing, faux pas, as we would say in French, that people make when they want to grow their business? So
I think we started with this simplify. So, the first thing is to micro niche down. And the second thing is, so that's another cloud over there. It's a little off camera, is to ensure that you are really solving one problem and that you get known for solving one problem. Again, as I said, entrepreneurs are very often want to solve everything.
I can help everyone.
Right. But it's also, I can, so let's take a weight loss person, coach. They say, well, I can help them, lose weight. I can help them, get fit. And, they ramble off a whole bunch of things.
And have self-confidence.
Yeah. Well, wait a minute. Who is it that you're talking to losing weight? Well, maybe in the micro niche, maybe it's women who've just given birth. That's a really narrow niche.
Yeah.
Or, maybe it's something else. maybe it's something else. So
post-COVID fat, or, you know.
Yeah, the COVID 20, as they call it. Yes.
The extra 20 pounds you gained the last year or so.
Yeah. And the other thing is that, number 3 from Simplify is to have one scalable, what I call core offer. So we tend to, as I said earlier, entrepreneurs can be very creative. And so we go, oh, well, that didn't really work so well. So I'm going to create a new offer. And I'm going to create an offer for this person. I'm going to create an offer for that person. And I've seen so many people out there being customizing. And customizing just eats up your time. And it also doesn't allow you to be positioned so that people know exactly what you stand for and exactly who you can help.
Okay.
I think, I've seen in service-based industries, I've seen a cleaner. So commercial and residential cleaner. And this guy had a laundry list of things that he could do. And I went, then you sound like everyone else. You just sound like every other cleaner. And he goes, but I don't. I have this really cool, non-toxic thing that I use. And I went, there it is. Why aren't you positioning? He also said that his commercial cleaning was his most profitable. Let go of all the rest. Position your commercial cleaning as being green, non-toxic. And speak to those companies who they really want. That's part of their core values.
Yeah.
And they would be willing to charge more, to pay more for that. But we tend to create this laundry list, and it just dilutes everything that we do.
Yeah, you said something that I found is really important is there's many cleaners, right? There's many office cleaners. And why would someone pick them over the other? Because their name starts with A as opposed to, remember the old yellow pages, right? Their name starts with A as opposed to Z or M, which is right in the middle and nobody cares. But nowadays with the internet, there's no more yellow pages. So you can't go with the name anymore. So you have to really find something that is distinguishing you, like distinguish, like who are you so specifically good at? What is it that you do that people will say, wow, I need to have that?
Yeah. And that's part of, micro niching down, but it can also be about the language that you use. So I'll just look at yours. It says positive intelligence specialist. And I go, what is that? Now you could have said, I don't know, life coach or mindset coach or whatever. I, have positioned a business growth master. Well, I could have said business strategist. Well, everybody says business strategist. Everybody says mindset coach. How can, just by changing the language, sometimes we can reposition ourselves.
Yeah. The way we express ourselves, which is different. Like I know there's so many life coach out there. And when I meet someone that says I'm a life coach, I say, so what?
Yeah.
So what? You and all the 100,000 people that have became coach in the last 2 years.
Yeah. Or I help you live your purpose. Duh.
Yeah. I hope so.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And so what's your grow meter? So how do you measure that?
My grow meter is actually, if your listeners can envisage a thermometer. Yeah. So hold on. I can actually draw it.
You can draw it. Yeah.
So I don't draw very well. So let's see. This is the bulb.
Yeah, we got that.
And what I say is there are typically 4 stages of business growth. And at the, I want to qualify this because you don't go to bed one night and you're at one stage and all of a sudden, poof, the next morning you're at another stage.
Okay.
And that's why I use the thermometer, because it really is, it's
slowly
a gradual
sticking up. Yeah.
progression.
It's not like a staircase where you're there. Right?
Yeah, no. It's kind of like the mercury's got to push its way up. Yeah. And so down at the bottom here, it's what I call the glorified employee, we are really doing. We are the doer in our business. And so we're constantly doing everything.
Yeah.
You know, you're the chief everything officer, but really here, the name of the game is survival. You're really just making enough money to survive, right? And typically, you know, you're validating your offer, you're chasing clients, you're hoping to get clients. And then as we kind of inch our way up a little bit, we come to stage number 2, which I call the manager. And at the manager level, we are like a manager in a corporation where we start building a team, where we have to think about leveraging our time. We have to think about delegating. We have to think about systems. So this is what I call our income. So we go from survival to a little bit of stability. Okay, we know we're going to earn some money. And this is a stage in here where I often see a lot of people stay. And there's nothing wrong with staying there. Nothing wrong at all. But the next step, stage number 3, is what I call the CEO. And at the CEO level, you are truly building a team that you lead, and you stop the doing part because you've got team to do it. But the mistake is very often that the CEO goes, but this is my business. I want to do something. And they have to be the visionary. They have to be the visionary to lead that team. And they have to step into their, what I call their zone of genius. What is it that they do? So if we think back to that lawyer that I was talking about, her zone of genius is solving complicated real estate transactions or complicated puzzles, we call them. So when she focuses just on doing that and lets the rest of her team do the other things, then she's happier and her business grows more easily.
Yeah, she doesn't spend hours writing out those contracts and everything. No. And she has people doing that for her.
Yeah, exactly.
Which she was doing before, I imagine.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And then, you know, stage number 4 is what I call legacy. And typically when you get to the legacy, this is about building an empire. Not everybody is up to that, but I have a client right now who that's all he can think about is building this empire and leaving a legacy. So the thing is about the stages of business growth, when you truly understand those, you identify where you're at, number 1.
Yeah.
And number 2, where do you want to go?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Do you want to build an empire? I know I don't want to build an empire.
Yeah.
I know I don't want to build an empire.
When you decide where it is you want to go, then it's about reverse engineering your business so that you build it by design.
Oh, that's super cool.
Yeah. And that's the grow equation that I was talking about. That's what I do for people. I start working with them and say, okay, what is your definition of success? What do you want to do? What do you want to build? And then we work backwards using that equation.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. So what can a person expect as of timeline for starting to see result or being more?
Ooh, that's a dangerous question.
I know it varies with everyone, I'm pretty sure.
I can't really answer that question because
there's too much variable.
Well, I'll answer it like a good coach. Well, that all depends, right? It all depends on their level of commitment, how willing they are to take bold decisions, how willing they are to make change, what type of team members they have, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know, this past, when I was working with the lawyer and, you know, we got interrupted by COVID. We were starting on this journey and COVID came along. Well, it derailed. She's had to figure out how to get everybody to work from home, how to do virtual closings. I mean, shit happens.
Yeah,
and so it's really hard to make a
prediction.
as to, how quickly people get results. It's really,
Otherwise, you would have to wear like a Merlin hat and say,
yes.
with a crystal ball and say, okay, you're right there, so I'll get you there in 6 months.
Yeah. No, it's, I often say to people, if you wanted to lose 50 pounds and your weight loss coach said, well, Denise, go home and eat one salad. Well, that's not going to work, right? It's a progression. It takes time.
Yeah.
And so does building a successful business where you can work less and earn more.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Wow, that's it leaves me hungry. But what I'm wondering is, what is it that people can, like, do you have a last tip, a last idea, or do you have any gift for people that are watching that could, like a little Christmas present or something?
A little Christmas present.
Or a holiday present, to be politically correct.
Okay, a holiday present. Yeah, sure. So on my website is really very simple. www.dianalidstone.com, just like my name says. And the free gift on my website is, how to get more clients, top 5 ways to attract more clients.
Wonderful.
And actually, I call it client getting secrets, I think is the actual terminology. And I walk people through the things that they really need to consider. It's not always about doing more. It's about taking an assessment of where they are. The second thing I would invite people to do is to, again, on my website in the top right-hand corner, there's a little button and it says schedule a call with me. When you schedule a call, it's just not a call. I actually walk you through a growth assessment. 20 questions. You get to score yourself.
Yeah.
And then you can walk away with, okay, here's where my next best step is. Here's where I need to focus my attention. And, if they want to discuss whether we're a possible good fit to work together, then we can do that. But I always want to have people leave with something concrete and tangible that they can implement. So the growth assessment would be, it's a really cool gift, and I walk all my clients through it every time that we, when we work together.
Oh, wonderful. So that would be also a good way to see if they like the way you work, and it will be a good way for you also to see if you like the way the client is reacting. We talked earlier, right, about quantity and quality. It works both ways.
Exactly. We have to be a good fit.
Yeah. Yeah. And that complimentary session and the growth, test, that's what gives you an idea of, for the clients to know if they like the way you work, and for you to know if you like how the client is. If somebody is like super close and it's like, no, that's how I want things done. It's like, well, the door's right there. No, there's no door anymore. Okay, end button.
Well, it's true. And sometimes we don't listen. I'll say earlier in my career, I didn't always listen to those little warning signs, right? I remember once a woman saying, well, this is what I know I need to do, so I want you to teach me this. And I went, in the back of my mind, I went, ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
But I didn't say no. And I should have said no, because we were not a good fit.
Yeah, it just solves so much problem. You might put away a little bit of money there.
Yeah.
But what's more important is your peace of mind, and it's your energy, right?
I thought the word was serenity.
Yes, it is. It's your serenity for sure.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's not worth my energy to fight that. Absolutely. Yeah. I totally agree with you. Well, that's fantastic. I think, I hope anyway, that people that are listening, whether live or in replay, got great value. And I think you gave me, I see it here, you gave me all the ways that people can contact you and meet you and all that. So right after the call, I'll go back into the lives and I'll put the information in the chat and refer to that to reach Diana. And this is on YouTube also, and that will be in the read more underneath the video so that you can find out how to reach Diana. So that's amazing, Diana. I had a really good understanding. I think I'm going to book myself that session because we met before, but I don't think I've done that session. So I will do it just to explore like different avenues about where I'm at in my business and where am I located and what do I want to do with it and what's the next best step to take in order to grow my business.
Especially with, you know, 2022 coming along, I think it's a great assessment for people to take. And yeah, I'd be happy to do that with you. This has been amazing. Thank you for having me as your guest.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was like, it's not so much like fun, like, you know, we're laughing, but fun in the sense that it makes me anyway, think about my business. It made me think of, yeah, what are my goals? And what do I know? I don't want to be building an empire that I know, you know, I don't need that. I have nobody to leave anything to anyway. So my cat will be gone by the time, you know, my business become an empire. So there's always charity, but that's too much work to do between now and the empire. So I'm good to be maybe the CEO at some point, you know, get other people to work with me and doing most of the work and then me supervising and leading. I think that would be a great idea, but I'll do the test and then I'll find out for sure. So thank you so much, Diana. Stay there. I'll be right back with you. And I just want to say thank you for those that have listened. It's always a pleasure to be sharing amazing guests with you in my It's All Good. Look who's here for a chat. And I'm supposed to have a very, very very amazing guest next week. Actually, the cat's out of the hat. It's supposed to be Santa Claus. But you know, this time of year is very busy. So I've tried to call him, but he must have been in the North Pole and with the storms, I don't know. So if Santa Claus not there, I will wear a toque, Santa Claus toque, and I'll pretend I am. No, but hopefully Santa Claus can come next week. So that would be super cool. That would be awesome, because who would you want to have on the week before Christmas? Santa Claus, of course. So I'm wishing you an amazing week, an amazing day. And remember, there's no point stressing over things that the past. Don't worry about what's going to happen tomorrow or even in an hour. Just stay serene and peaceful. It's all good. Life is amazing, and make the best of it and look at the gift in your life. Have a wonderful day, and thank you for listening. Goodbye.